Y'all ready for this?
Indie Soul Rhythms is your home for global independent soul and R&B, featuring exclusive artist interviews, curated playlists, and deep connections from London to LA. Subscribe and join the rhythm.
All I can say is gee whiz.
Hey everybody, joining us today is the magnetic Bonnie Freechild, a singer-songwriter and creative curator whose journey spans from viral jungle lullabies in Asia to BBC Extra, One Extra, and global stages. Beyond music, she creates immersive events like Dopamine blend art, community, and connection to spark joy and healing. With a mission to uplift and a voice that empowers, Bonnie reminds us that being a goddess isn't about perfection. It's about authenticity and owning your story. So, Bonnie, welcome to Indie Soul Rhythms.
Yay! Thanks, Michi. What an intro.
It's our pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
We're not going to take too much time, so we're going to jump right into our conversation this evening. So your music has been I would say it's beautiful. It's a beautiful blend of vulnerability and empowerment. How has your personal journey shaped the emotional truth behind songs like Goddess and Dopamine?
Oh, do you know what? I think that I am a person, like what you just said about my music vulnerability and strength is kind of who I am as a person. My personality, my life experience, right? Like I was raised to be quite an open person. Like my dad is very much a free spirit and free-spirited character, super charismatic. And my mum was a clinical psychologist. So, and she was not so free, but she was like, when you have psychology around you, I guess you kind of learn to communicate and so on, right? Yeah. So, and then she died when I was 14. And my dad moved, after that we moved countries, and my dad moved in with his now wife not long after, and I lived with some like 20-year-olds or whatever. So I've had to be independent from a really young age and had lots of trauma, which I guess creates a strength internally, because you don't have a choice. You have to just continue with your life and pay for things yourself and work and all of that. But then I'm a creative and I'm a free spirit and I'm just a connector. Like I like to connect with people, even if it's an old lady at a bus stop or a little boy in a coffee shop, that's with his parents, but is curious, and I just think like I'm comfortable. I've been through so much that I'm comfortable with sharing my story. And I know that it helps people to connect to those experiences as well. So vulnerability in and of itself, I guess, is strength. So I'm kind of like, I'm happy to lead by example and share everything, because I know that it helps in life when you can connect to other people's stories.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it comes out even as you speak. You can tell if someone is making things up, but it actually comes out. I can feel the the authenticity in your voice and in what you're saying. You went viral singing jungle songs from Indonesia and Malaysia. How did that experience reflect your upbringing, and how has your multicultural background shaped the way you create?
I mean, that was a whole weird situation. Like, I just, it's funny. So mum dying. So my last years with her were in Asia. And well, my fundamental memories with her are in Asia. So I've always felt very connected to that part of my childhood, despite being born in Australia. I spent 7 years there from 8 to 15. So having those fundamental years, as well as mum having passed away, actually died in Brunei, like I think that means that I'm super connected to that part of the world. It very much feels like home to me. And I don't really know where home is, wherever I live, I guess. But with Southeast Asia, I definitely get this, like, even yesterday, here's the vulnerability. I had a bit of a cry because I just desperately want to be in Asia at the moment. I'm just missing it. Like, oh, I just want to eat the food, and, like, when you get off the plane somewhere that's home that you love, and the smells are different and you can hear different language around you, and
Yeah.
it's like yummy on your ears. I think that's kind of like how I feel about Asia. And as I continue through life, I see more and more how much it's influenced my life as well. And I think I've had exposure to different cultures from such a young age. It's really shaped me as a person in terms of, like, being open-minded and accepting and inclusive, and probably most importantly, curious, right? Like, when there's conflict or something, like, I don't go to defense, I go to curious, and I'm like, why are they saying that to me? Like, where's that come from? Like, I'm not like, I'm just, it's just left me so open-minded that I constantly want to understand everybody else, basically. And so when I did I did a video because of that. I was missing Asia so much, and I just did a little video of me singing a Malay song. And when it went viral, I was like, what? Like, that actually happens? I thought it was all fake. When people say, oh, they got famous from YouTube or whatever, I'm like, no, that's all a setup. It doesn't really happen. And then it happens to me, and it was super weird. But I guess, like, I think then it forced me even more to, like, reflect on my connection to that part of the world, and it made me pay more attention to how it's impacted me, and, like, made me think more about how, like, lucky I am to kind of be able to be a chameleon and switch into different spaces and be accepted by other people, right? It's like this weird dichotomy of feeling always like I don't fit in, but then equally I do fit in. It's like fitting in everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And so it's kind of made me consider, like, consider other people's perspectives, I guess, when I'm writing more, and not in an inauthentic way, but just in, like, a, like, how would somebody who's on the other side of the world feel about me saying this? Like, is that true to me, or is that true because of some weird societal thing, like, which is me and which is, and then also, like, just being open to different sounds and trying to incorporate that kind of intentionally, like, why can't I put a malimba in one of my songs? Like,
Yeah.
why not? Like, just do it. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers the question. I feel like that was a long tangent.
No, yeah, you are answering the question. Yeah. Um, which actually then triggered another question. When did you discover that you had the ability to write and sing?
I was really young. Like, I don't really remember not doing it. When I was in Australia, I lived on a farm, in the not full country, but kind of country-ish. And we had, like, I don't know, 5 acres or something. It's not a huge amount of space. But there were lots of little places that I could go and play by myself, because I was an only child. I have a half sister, but I grew up as an only child. And so I'd go and sit on, like, the cattle grid and, like, just make up songs about my grandfather, who I'd never met. Like, he passed when my mum was 25 or something. So, I'd just, like, think about him, and I'd just think about my little 5-year-old life. And, like, just hum melodies and stuff. And then I actually found the other day, I was looking for I'm going through an ADHD assessment, and they were asking for all this information. So I was looking through, like, a box of trying to find, like, report cards from kindergarten or whatever. And I found a little song that I'd written, and it was, like, on a piece of paper, and I'd written a birthday song for my friend Sarah, who I'm still friends with. I knew her when I was 5. So it must have been, like, either from her 5th or her 6th birthday. And yeah, it was so cute. And like my mum had kept it 'cause it was the first song that I ever wrote, I guess, like wrote down on paper, and I'd made up a little melody for it and stuff. But I used to just listen to what my parents were listening to and stuff as well, like Buddy Holly and Elvis. And my dad was super into like world music, like Spanish, like flamenco guitar and kind of South American sort of percussion sounds and so on. So it's just, and I'd just play with my friends and be like, I'm gonna be Danny from Greece because I'm a better singer.
Okay.
Or Sandy. No, it's Sandy, right? That's
Andy.
the girl. Yeah. I'd be sad. I'd have to be Sandy because I'm singer. It's terrible. It's a little bit of a performer at that age. But yeah, so like literally all my life I've been doing it. And then it did get, I guess it got more intentional. I had a trip to America when I was 11 with my parents. We went there for like 6 months and bought a car and drove around. And I wrote a lot of little songs about like New York and like um the the reserves, some of the reserves we went on. They were so, I just felt like the people say America, they say some bad things about America sometimes, right? Like negative things, like it's very, people are insular or it's not interesting, blah, 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 but they don't see all of it. And, you know, we went to 17 states and we went on to the Native American reserves. And I just remember being taken by like the energy and the pottery and the just these amazing colors and things like dream catchers. And it just like soaking in all of these different like landscapes and cultures within the US because it's so different from state to state just really inspired me. And then mum dying and I was writing poetry and yeah, and it all snowballed from there really.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that because I noticed when most people when they go on holiday, they usually just go to the main attractions,
Mm.
all the commercial stuff, and they don't really get into the culture of the place or
Oh yeah.
experience the real culture. So yeah, that's interesting you said that. Um,
Uh, my dad was very against like 5-star hotels, which really annoyed me as a kid because I'd like my friends would all go on holiday to these fancy resorts and I'd be in like we'd go to Malaysia and stay in the 1 ringgit hotel. That's like 10 cent, 10p or something like that with weird snakes. Like there'd be like, you know, people that bought and sold snakes or probably caught them from the jungle and they you know, you'd walk past rooms that just had all like cages of snakes in them and it was super weird. So we can thank my dad for that in a good way, mostly.
Um, so you've got the dopamine campaign, handwritten notes to strangers, sparking joy in unexpected places, was such a unique concept. What did you learn about people and about yourself through that?
Oh, um, it was interesting. It was it was difficult and easy at the same time. Like I'm pretty good with talking to strangers. I don't have any kind of lacking confidence or whatever. But what was quite interesting with that is although I was like promoting a song, it came from like a really authentic place, right? Like I thought, because I was like, how can I do something that's real life that connects with people? Because I get so bored of it's all socials, you know, and you do connect with people that, you know, here's an example, but
Yeah.
it's not the same as being in front of somebody. And I just felt like, what can I physically, I wanted to feel like I was physically doing something. And so I had first thought about free hugs, but then I was like, oh, I don't know about people touching me. And then my creative assistant, who's this amazing content creator who helps me with that sort of thing and just like lots of creative stuff, she was like, what if it was compliments? Because I'm just that type of person anyway. If I see somebody, male or female, but mostly women, because, you know, got to support our fellow woman.
Yeah.
If they look good, I'll be like, excuse me, you look amazing, or you look beautiful, or whatever. And so she was like, why don't you just do that? And then we just ended up the two of our ideas together and writing it on little notes, or I had the cards for the song, and so I wrote in gold pen on there. And so it felt really good to be doing something that is aligned with who I am anyway and what I do, but with a more intentional within a more intentional scenario. But it was so funny. It was really up and down and hit and miss with people. And in some ways it took me back to the times where I've had to do like promo work and try and get people into a club, like, you know,
Yeah.
or what, you know, selling something. Like sometimes people would really make you feel like you're selling something. And I'm like, I mean, guess technically I was selling something, like wanting them to do a pre-save or hoping that they would. But equally, I was just happy when people were touched. And so it's the first day that we did it was like a police officer ended up to being the first person that took one, which was quite cute. And then he ended up following me on Instagram, and I still see him around. He's in my area and stuff. And he was like, "Wait, you know about Singapore?" And it turns out he was Singaporean partly and stuff. So it was really positive in some ways. And a couple of people on the train, they were like going out to party, and they were like, "Ah, this is amazing. That's so cool," you know. And then one guy was like, "Oh, this is exactly what I needed to hear today. And that's exactly what I wanted." Because, you know, like this sort of, you know, it's a bit woo-woo, but universal alignment, like what sometimes you just need to hear something. And I was hoping that when people, because I had them select a message randomly rather than me giving it to them, and they were all written differently as well. It wasn't the same thing. It was all, I tried to literally think of like 300 different things.
Wow.
That would be true. And so, yeah, people got their own individual messages. And so in that sense, it was wonderful. But I will say, like, when people treated us as though like I was selling something, it was pretty demoralizing. Like I really had to like gather all my energy and pick myself up off the ground and remember why I was doing it as well, right? Like because of the feeling that I was spreading, as well as the promotion of my music. And so ultimately, like when it went well, it was a phenomenal feeling. And when it didn't, it was just like meh. But it was also good because it was like, you know what, also part of this artist journey is finding your people, right?
Yeah.
And finding your fans and just finding the people that relate to you and your music. So I guess I took that from it.
Interesting. I'm just curious about your new single, Honey.
Yes.
What was the inspiration behind it, and what are you hoping your listeners will get from it?
Oh, it's such a funny one with Honey. Like surprisingly, there wasn't a one person who inspired it. And with like most of my songs, it'll be like a specific situation that I've been through with either myself or somebody else. But with Honey, I was just working on how to produce. I was learning how to produce. And so I'd created a little bit of a beat. And it just felt like I could listen all day to your sweet talk. Like it just felt like it needed that kind of chatty kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And then it just the energy of the music, I think it just took me to that place of like where there's a lovely, you have a crush on someone and it's that will they, won't they kind of, and then there's a little bit of the more mature side of like, you know, how long do you make somebody wait before you get into a relationship of sorts. And it's just kind of, I guess I was exploring those themes of like self-respect, your own boundaries, but you want to have fun, you know, because it's like it's such a weird time in relationship at this point in 2025 with dating apps and all of that. And it's like you're constantly like, what's the right way to deal with this situation? So it ended up just being that really. And then I felt like it needed a rap because that's just what came out. And I was like, can I rap on this? Do I rap? I don't know. And then I sent it to a few friends and they were like, this is actually really good. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm a rapper now. But what they had said to me was they were like, it feels fresh and flirty and fun. And I'm like, yes, I like that vibe. So I guess I just want people to feel vibey and feel, I guess it has a level of empowerment as well, right? No matter, you know, if you're male or female, it's like, you know, where do I sit in this equation and what do I want? And if I take this next step, are you going to be who you said you're going to be?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we all have the ability, male or female or in between, to be like that, right? And to change our mind and maybe not be completely decided before we do things we shouldn't do. So hopefully it sparks joy, basically.
No, it's yeah, it's catchy. When I first heard it, I was like, okay, this is interesting.
Yes, because you've been so supportive and
Yeah.
you've heard the other songs. And then
Yeah.
so what did you think when you heard the rap? Were you like, wait, what?
No, I was actually taken aback because I thought, oh wow, I didn't know you could rap.
Yay.
But yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, I've played it on my show several times, and obviously we'll play it on this show as well for people that haven't heard it. You will hear it.
Yay.
Yeah.
Thank
Um,
you.
so you've performed with alongside some incredible names. You collaborated and performed. Which of, the collaborations you've done has been the biggest yes for you? And you felt I'm on the right path.
Mm. Um, I don't know, it's difficult. Like I've I've collaborated with some people who like I looked up to growing up, right? Which is kind of crazy to have the opportunity to do things like that. So I feel like every experience has value and there's different things that I've taken from each one. Um, and working with TQ, for example, I don't know how much that's out there. It's out there somewhere. Who did, had his song West Side, um, and other amazing songs. Like writing with him was crazy. And I was like, who am I? Where am I? Like, how is this? How was I listening to that song? And then as a kid, and then I'm like, wait, what? You're like literally in front of me. And that the song we wrote, it's not actually out anywhere, but it's like writing together, and then he suggests a melody and the melody is like and I'm like, oh my god, wait, that's definitely like that's a hymn melody. And then hearing my own sort of voice with it, it's like, yeah, it's just crazy and like appreciative that people like that would take the time to write with me. And then people like Labyrinth, I met him before he was Labyrinth,
Hmm.
when he was just, well, he was still Labyrinth, but he was amazing at that time, but he wasn't sort of as big and didn't have all the big songs out. And he showed me how to produce and like kind of engineer and mix and stuff. And that was the most special thing that I took from that, because that sparked something in me in terms of like learning how to produce more. And people saying to me like my vocal production skills are amazing, and that's because of his influence. And then you've got people like Jethro Sheeran, who's Ed Sheeran's cousin, and he's like a phenomenal rapper and really a diverse artist and does lots of different things with lots of cool people. He's asked me to actually be on his new project, which is exciting as well, because we haven't done anything together for quite a long time. And then, I mean, sharing the stage with people like Omar was
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, I don't even like, where do you go from that?
Yeah.
And
That,
knowing
that
him,
that's UK royalty there.
I know
Yeah.
exactly. Well, and I also know Bushkin and Fonty from Heartless Crew really well, and
Hmm.
I've spent a lot of time with them. And there was a time where they really helped mentor me. And I had some stage fright quite badly, and they really helped me with that by taking me out to their parties and pushing me on stage and be like, "This is Bonnie Freechild," and then gave me a microphone. They're like, "Sing," and I'm like, ah. And I'm like, all these like garage heads, they're just wanting garage, and I'm there going, I need your energy, just trying to make up some melodies from Bushkin's words.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been like that. There's such a privilege for, especially like not being born or not growing up here, but then people like them supporting me. And so on. It's like a real privilege to be kind of rubbing shoulders with, and to be able to call them friends as well, you know, people like
Yeah.
that.
No,
Super
that's a
great.
beautiful thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. And we've talked about Honey. Goddess was such a powerful anthem. So, especially you released it after, the extended version in honor of your mom.
Yeah.
What does being a goddess mean to you?
Oh, I mean, it just means everything, really. I think that song came about because I've always had the song idea goddess in my mind, and that's because at some point somebody called me an Amazonian goddess because I'm 5'10", and I wear heels, and so you know that you just
Yeah.
being brunette, that's
Yeah.
kind of, you know, as a little nickname or whatever. And then it's kind of stuck over the years, and I don't really think of myself as a goddess like that, but so I'd always sort of had a little bit of, it'd be fun to have a song called Goddess, but it hadn't developed. And then I was seeing somebody who was really confusing, and they were really inconsistent, and it was causing me to question myself a lot. And so I ended up just writing myself a mantra, basically, and talking to myself, I guess it, in the end, like kind of what would my mum say, I suppose. But you know, what am I worth, and what is my value? And no, wait, like I am sunshine or sunrise. I forgot my own lyrics. You know, I'm the sunrise personified. Like people are drawn to me because I'm open and friendly and warm, and I listen, and you know, like I have so many good qualities. Why am I questioning myself? So I kind of wrote that mantra for me. So it started out to be about a boy, but it became about me and remembering who I am at my core, and then sort of turned into the reference to ancestors and mom. And people people have said like how much it's impacted them, which is so lovely. Like strangers that have heard it at a gig, or people on Instagram just like randomly messaging me. And even still somebody that heard the song at a gig last year, who's subsequently become a friend. I went to support her first show, and her brother was like, you're the goddess girl. And he was like, I bang that tune all day every day in my house. So, you know, it was so lovely, and especially when men can relate as well, right? Because
Yeah, it is a powerful tune.
right, and I
Really
want,
powerful. Yeah.
like, it doesn't matter, you know, if you're like a man or a woman, like as long as you get the sentiment, which is to just like you're okay to be yourself, and that's, you know, trust yourself, trust that you are enough, because we can't hear that enough, right? And it's taken me a long time to understand that. Meanwhile, apparently one of my friends said the most beautiful thing to me on one of my birthdays recently. He was saying to me how being around me when we first became friends made him start dressing differently. And because he was like, well, if Bonnie can like wear cowboy boots and whatever, something weird, then like why can't I? And he apparently his style, I don't even remember when his style was not what his style is now, but he started wearing like what do you call those things, coat, waistcoats. He started wearing like waistcoats with Cubans and stuff like that. And he said that that's because like I was just so free as myself. But it's so funny because I still have those internal things, those internal battles, right? I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm not like, am I good enough? Not that I think it, you know, overtly, I'm not like, am I good enough? But when somebody makes you question yourself, like
Yeah.
it still gets through. But then I can just sit there and be like, oh, God, this. With myself, meditate with myself to my own song.
But we got to do that, and I think all the time, because I don't think anyone is immune to that. I think at
No,
one point all of us question who we are and are we good enough? But you got to constantly remind yourself.
exactly. And
Yeah.
so hopefully, you know, it sounds like if you're getting it, then everybody else is getting it too. You know, the
Yeah.
fact that even though it says goddess, you can apply it to yourself.
Yeah, I got a couple of short, fiery questions. Well, it's just fun questions, really. Um, what's the one compliment you've received recently that gave you your own hit of dopamine?
Um, mm, people are so kind. Um, Somebody said to me the other day that the word that they would describe me with was magnetic. And I thought that was quite nice. And you used that word as well, actually, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But this is our first time meeting, so I mean, I guess it comes across on socials, but
Yeah.
yeah, we were just talking about interacting with people, and it was my music coach actually, and she was like, you're very magnetic, and I was like, ooh, that sounds nice, magnetic, like I don't know, sounds metallic, like sounds like gold and silver and I think I'm imagining myself covered in gold and silver. That's what it feels like being magnetic.
I think another interpretation is infectious.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
thank you. Well, I hope so. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
people feeling good around me, whether that's, and I do have that intention, I think. Like
Yeah.
why would you not want people to feel, hopefully we all have that intention, to be fair.
Yeah.
Wanting people to feel good.
I hope so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so picture this. You're hosting a dinner party with three iconic women,
Hmm.
past or present. Who gets
Hmm.
a seat at your table?
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Iconic women. Hmm. I would say Rosa Parks because massive impact on history. I would say Marilyn Monroe
Oh yeah.
because again, like I guess you don't have much insight into these people. You've only got what's written, right?
Yes, yeah.
So it's not like they're around with social media. And then, oh, I feel like I should choose somebody like young, but I don't know, we can learn from people that have walked before us, right? And the person that's coming to mind is, I've forgotten her name, RGB. She's dead now. The judge,
Yeah.
Supreme Court judge. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would. I'd probably invite her because what a combination of women, right?
Wow, yeah. I'm just like thinking what conversation will be going on at that table.
Exactly. It'll be so
Yeah.
interesting.
Amazing. And what's your current power anthem on repeat?
Ooh, my current power anthem. I don't know if it's a power anthem. Wait, let me look at I need to look at my like songs because I know what I kind of keep listening to the most, but it's kind of, I'm not sure it's a power anthem, but it's just kind of, it's giving me energy. But I just wanted to see if I had any other um actual power anthems. No, they're not power anthems. So the thing that is making me like, if I need some energy, I listen to Sabrina Carpenter Bed Chem.
Okay.
And it's kind of random, but you know what it is? Because she's got that sample from the I really like what you've done to me. Can't really, I can't remember what the song is, but maybe it's, where did it go?
Tamia.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's got that sample in it, so it brings that feeling of that song, but then she's got such cheeky lyrics. It just
Right.
like, it's not really the subject of the song. It's more just the vibe of it. It just kind of
Right.
makes me feel lifted. And then the other thing that's living in my head completely rent free and starting to drive me insane is Folded by Kelani.
Oh,
Like that's just, especially the unfolded version, which is like an a
yes.
cappella version,
Yeah.
just constantly in my head. That song is just there. So they're not really power anthems, but I guess Folded is a bit of a kind of, you know, that's a bit powerful-ish sentiment.
Yeah. As long as
What's
it's on repeat, I guess.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
yours?
What's mine?
Yeah.
Um, Mine is old school,
Yeah.
really way back in the 80s. Rick James.
Ah, which song?
Um, it's been sampled by a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have to
Super
guess?
Freak.
Oh, Super Free.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay,
Now
cool.
that's just been in my head for the last couple of weeks. I don't know why. And yeah, and I was on a, I think I spent the weekend just listening to Rick James and watching live shows, especially one that he did in '83 in Oakland, California.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was amazing.
Oh really?
Yeah,
83 in Oakland. Okay, I might have to look it up.
yeah,
I like to do that sometimes. Like it's good to like have a little bit of a deep dive
yeah,
on an artist or even like genre, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I'll have like a Motown week or Prince, actually just looking behind you. Actually, Prince is one that I often go to.
yeah. I tend to do that. I mean, I'll have like my Bob Marley moments where
Mm.
that's all I'm listening, and that's, I'm just doing deep dive reading, and then next thing it could be Whitney Houston, and I'm just listening to Whitney Houston. So yeah, but they're not my power anthems. It's just one of those things I do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
currently stuck in your
yeah.
head. I feel
And
like I want to
finally,
write a new one actually. I've been that is also been in my mind. I have a new power anthem for myself to write that's I started writing called Female. So I
right.
mean, it's in the same vein as Goddess. Not yet. No, it's going to be a bit different, a bit more like um a bit more in the direction of Run the World,
Okay.
like by Beyonce. But it's the intention is to actually change the narrative. This is very random, but you know how sometimes people say female instead of woman or lady or girl or whatever, right? And
Yeah.
it's like it's got these sort of like undertones of misogyny, and people don't realize what they're doing by saying that they're
Yeah.
setting women on a lower scale than men by man and female. Um and it's been bugging me because I keep having the conversation with people, and I friends have caught them saying it, and then I like explained to them. Not that I walk around correcting people, but it's just what I mean. It's come up
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
conversation, and just kind of having interesting conversations about the world at the moment, and sort of the patriarchy and how it gets pretty deep, but how it feels like men and women are being pitted against each other, but actually it's all about the patriarchy, and that's not men nor women. That's just okay, yeah, it was started by men, but anybody alive now didn't start it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just an interesting conversation. So I thought I wanted to kind of write a song about reframing the word female.
Right. Look forward to that. Having said that, so is there any album we should be expecting? Any EP?
So I haven't told anybody yet, actually. So exclusive for you. Yes, I am putting an EP out. I'm trying to solidify the date, but it will be this year,
Right.
before the end of the year.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to work out there's just too many songs that I want to put on it. But I'm kind of I feel like the last 2 years and the songs that I've been putting out and the songs that I've written in the last 2 or 3 years, like, I feel like they're all a bit linked, and they're all around that sort of push and pull of romance, and there's some empowerment and self-reflection in things like Goddess, and I kind of want to package it all and let it go and move on to my next chapter where I'm not I'm not doing as much growing, but I'm like resting in my feminine, not just feminine, like I've learned a lot in the last couple of years in a lot of different ways with regard to music, even, and like all the different people I've worked with and the different ways I've gone about releasing songs, and learning more about how to be consistent and stay true to myself, and looking at my essence as a person, as an artist, and working out how do I tie everything together, and you know, going on that journey. And it sort of feels like I'm going into a new.
We really appreciate you taking your time to chat to us, and I appreciate your candor, your openness, and especially your authenticity. And I'm dead sure our listeners will agree. But before we let you go, I'm going to ask you to do us the honor of introducing one of my favorite tracks, Honey.
Oh, okay. Thank you so very much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been wonderful talking to you, and thank you for letting me be authentic and open and making me feel safe. And thanks to everybody who's listening. Hopefully I'll see you soon. And this is my song. I am Bonnie Freechild, and the song is called Honey.
Thank you.
Honey, 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 honey. I can listen all day to your sweet talk. So sweet that it makes me wanna eat. Yummy, yummy. Body like it wants to be on the catwalk. Get my knees so we can barely feel my feet to walk. Touch me one time, kiss him all night. Not gonna lie, you get my heart and mind in overdrive. I should hold back, don't wanna hold back. I should get out of here before he brings the cognac. Well, look at him and I get fluttered by his, butterflies. I'm so tongue-tied, but we know exactly what these boys are like. How they roll, they're never satisfied. If I end up doing the walk of shame, I hope nothing's changed, I won't be ashamed. Still I do my best not to be hypnotized by your pretty eyes. But I'm like, oh my, if I give you my honey, 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 would you still be my sugar, 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 sugar sweet? If I give you a piece, 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 piece of my pie, would I still be the apple, apple, apple of your eye? Yeah, boys lie. They lie, they lie, they lie, they lie. They lie, they lie, they lie. They lie, they lie, they lie, they lie. They lie, they lie, they lie. Boys and lie. If you wanna go back, let's go back. But I'ma keep you on track, so watch that. If you see me on the street, please stand back. If you try to booty slap me, they'll slap back. If you want a date, I give it to you straight. Me, I'm a goddess, so I need a heavyweight. AJ, that's bait, even he's gotta wait. If you really wanna be with me, then you better wait. If I give you my honey, 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 honey,